when it stopped working, when my sound stopped working. But I thank you for being with me and being patient with me because I really don't know what happened to my sound, but I'm going to try to continue this. I was talking about forgiving ourselves, and I had gone into this just in case you didn't hear all of the first part of this uh, that I did. I'm now talking about medically reviewed by scientific advisory board, and what this topic is healing from the past and living in your present. Healing from the past, and this is Psych Central. Our past shapes our present and helps us identify who we are and where we are headed. All right, I'm on the line. All right, so Yvonne, I hope you can. I'm going to go back. Okay, now our past shapes our present and helps us identify who we are and where we're headed. So it's natural to us to use our past experience as a point of reference for our current situation. So the choices we make for ourselves today are often influenced by our past. So if we're using healthy judgment to guide our choices, then past regrets, mistakes, and pain are used as markers for what we do not want in our lives. However, for some, the past is not seen as a place of reflection, but as a destination. For those who struggle with letting go of past pain or regret, they can feel trapped by their situation and unable to move forward in their lives. That's sad. So, feeling unable to let go of the past can lead to clinical depression, post traumatic stress disorder, or even suicide. And I was talking earlier, and I didn't want to say that word, but it can lead to that. If you can't let go of your past, if you cannot forgive yourself, it could lead to one or more of these things. So, past has a way of making us feel stuck. Pain has a way of making us feel stuck. In times of emotional pain, we may find ourselves thinking back to when we felt happier, when we can help motivate us in the present. That can help motivate us in the present if we can think about the times that we were happier. And it's just like, okay, if you're going through something now, think back to when you were happier. Just like what I read in the beginning, uh, think ahead 5 years and think about how things are going to be better in 5 years. So, if you're in a sad state now, and I also said that back 5 years earlier, things were not as good. But then 5 years earlier, things could have been better than they are now. So think about the happiness the 5 years, 2 years, 5 months, 5 days when things were happier. So if in the past we were proud of an accomplishment we achieved, thinking of our past success can help motivate us in achieving new successes now. So, referencing our past positive experiences can be a healthy option for setting goals or in building optimal habits as we focus on our future. So, while a little reflection can be healthy, and foster creativity. Two, much reflection or ruminating on past negative experiences can drift into obsession and lead to feeling stuck. This is so true. This is such a good piece. And what we're talking about is we have a question. What do? We let go of the past and move forward. So now we're going to talk about pain, regret, and PTSD. Our past experiences can affect our current mindset and our choices in how we interpret our lives. If pain or trauma has been experienced in our past, it can impact how we view our current circumstances or even prevent us from living in the present. That is so true. My goodness. We've seen it in other people and we might have experienced that ourselves. So, existing research suggests how past negative experiences are often associated with increased incidences of trait anxiety, depression, impulsivity, low self esteem, and poor choices. For example, if we have suffered betrayal from a loved one in a romantic or familial relationship, we may relive the traumatic experience as it replays in our mind. So, certain smells, foods, places, or songs may trigger re experiencing the pain, which often results in trying to push away the intrusive thoughts and feelings. So, this can lead to other symptoms, including social isolation. That's why I said social isolation, okay? Distrust in others, self sabotaging behavior, and an inability to move ahead in our lives. For example, living in the past. And so many people live in the past. And so, warning signs of living in the past. Warning signs of living in the past. Conversations seem to revert back to certain times, certain people, or certain situations. You are attracted to or attract the same type of people that cause you pain. These are warning signs of living in the past. Disagreements often surround past arguments. Easily bored or frustrated, comparing your current situation to previous ones. Prior traumatic or painful events replay in your mind. Self sabotaging behavior, emotions triggers, emotional triggers that cause you to think about people or situations from the past. Relationships are used to fill and avoid or to prevent being alone with your thoughts. Waiting for the other shoe to drop, expecting something bad to happen. That's what that means. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Feeling anxious or acting impulsive. Experiencing regret over impulsive choices. All or nothing thinking about new people or new experiences. Avoidance of new people or new experiences. My goodness, and these are all signs, warning signs of living in the past. So, self sabotaging behavior, let's talk about that. Thank you for being with me. This is my second uh, part of today's webcast because my sound went off for some reason. I don't know why. Many times, the hallmark of living in the past is a pattern of self sabotaging behavior that reinforces reliving past traumatic events. What makes behavior self sabotaging is how it negatively affects the person in its aftermath. Self sabotaging behavior usually starts out as a way to reduce or avoid unpleasant feelings, such as when we're experiencing something painful. In an attempt to push away intrusive thoughts or vulnerable emotions, things like self-medicating, escape slash avoidant behaviors, or other unhealthy patterns can start. For example, a history of being abandoned earlier in life play out in abandoning partners or friends or lashing out at them if feeling emotionally vulnerable. So this pattern can lead to a history of unhealthy relationships and a toxic cycle that perpetuates trying to avoid emotional triggers through self sabotaging behavior. How to heal from the past. Healing from past pain or traumatic experiences is not something that happens overnight. It is a process that requires patience, it requires dedication, and a commitment to change. You hear that? You have to have a commitment to change. That means that you have to acknowledge that you need to change and that you need to put the past behind you, that you need to move on for the better. So humans are wired by wanting to feel good and to minimize feeling bad, which often triggers self sabotaging behavior in an attempt to avoid pain. So when we experience a painful event, such as betrayal or other traumatic experiences, it can rewire us for self preservation. So we may live in fight or flight mode, constantly anticipating more pain in our lives, which can unconsciously which can be unconsciously welcomed through our actions. So next, I'm going to give on Thursday, God willing, tips for learning to live in the present. I love you so much. I won't intrude on your time. You have been patient with me and you have been here supporting me, and I really appreciate it. I love you so much. God willing, I'll see you Thursday. You'll see me Thursday.
Oh God, I'm calling on you. Oh God, I'm enlisting the saints to pray. Can you hear me? Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Can you feel it?